Okay, people. So today I am joined by actor, writer, director, producer. It is the action man himself, David A.R. White. David,
Hey, thanks for having me.
no worries, man. I'm glad you could stop by. Man, it's good to see you.
You too.
So,
Appreciate it.
nah, man, it's all good, man. You've been making a lot of films, man. I was looking at your filmology, and yeah, there's a lot of stuff here.
Thank you. Yeah, we've been busy for a while.
Yeah, it's like looks you've done a lot of action and comedy. Would you say they're the genres that you play in the most?
Yeah, action, thriller, comedy. Certainly. We did a bunch in the faith world as well. So
Mm,
yeah, we've done a lot.
yeah, yeah. So when young David was thinking, you know what I mean? Like, what am I gonna go into? And you're like, you know what? I want to be an actor, right? Did you have like certain kind of aspirations on the type of films you were looking at? You know, because some people are like, oh, I'd love to play James Bond, or oh, I'd want to be in like, you know, like a Nightmare on Elm Street type of film. You know what I mean? Like, what was it for you?
Uh, it's a good question. I don't. I mean, I was inspired by the Rocky movies
Oh, okay.
early on. Specifically like Rocky 3, just like really transformed my thinking about the movie industry. And I
Mm,
loved the underdog story, and I loved how Stallone had written these things, and when nobody wanted him, and obviously Rocky was birthed, and then he kept going, and even he's quite an inspiration when you think about it all the way through, and from he just keeps recreating himself every single time it looks like he's going to be done. He comes out with something different that most of the time it seems like he's the one who's thinking of it, but on this last go ahead, it looks obviously like the 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 mob one, this Tulsa King. It looks like Tyler Sheridan came up with that one.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but I
I
think that's what inspired me about story.
okay. But like, because you know, I'm assuming you saw one and two. So what?
Not, no,
Oh, you went straight in.
I
Well,
went
you know, to
three.
tell
I saw three. Yeah, that was my opening because I grew up as a Mennonite. My dad was a Mennonite pastor, so I
oh,
saw one movie in the theater the first 18 years of my life. So
right.
I would have to kind of get it when it finally hit television.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, you know what? I said all of that, but the first Rocky film that I saw was four. So you
okay.
know, like
Yeah.
most people, a lot of people I know, like when they talk about like they were down from one. You know what I mean? Like they were like, "Oh, Rocky one, it was great," and then the two and three, yeah. But yeah, I came in at Rocky four and was like, oh, "Okay, yeah, this is all right." It's kind of, you know, it's a mute like the fight scenes are amusing because no one's getting hit that many times, and you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, that was yeah, I don't think I quite, grasped how many times he was getting hit in three, and then but four they just take it to a whole new level of getting pummeled.
Yeah, because I think when you're young and you watch them, like you kind of because you might not have seen a lot of boxing fights or just fights,
No,
right? So
not.
you kind of assume that the stuff you're seeing on TV and in films is a mirror of what they really are. And so it's kind of like you watch this up and you're like, oh man, that's crazy. But then I think when you watch real boxing fights and like the UFC, you kind of go, oh, okay. I
Well,
get
I
I
had
get what
watched
this is.
I had watched boxing. I was a fan of it growing up too. So it wasn't like when I saw Rocky. I mean, Rocky just made it come to life. Rocky
Mm,
3 specifically is when, and 4 too, and then then you go back to 1 and 2, and they're way slower. Uh,
yeah.
but but I grew up really loving Stallone's action. Like it was like you know, a simple. He wasn't. I mean, he was trained as a boxer, but you
Mm.
know, it was more street. Like it wasn't like a clean. You know, his style wasn't very clean.
Yeah, but it's like they're edited well. You know what I mean? And they've got all those kind of like when you see him like training just in the shed of the video, and then Drago is like with all the science and everything like that, and you've got the music play, and it's just like it does get the adrenaline pumping. You know what I mean? He has kind of
Yeah,
keyed
really.
into that raw emotion. I think he's done a great job of
Yeah,
nailing that.
yeah. He really does. That's for sure. Yeah. You know, the irony of this whole thing is that I just came off a movie with, you know, my goal is to try to work with all the Rocky folks, uh,
Ah,
and or at least meet them, you know.
yeah.
And in the process, I've met, you know, I met Carl Weathers. We were repped by the same person for a little bit, and then I just came off a movie with Dolph Lundgren,
Oh,
which was
okay.
very cool. To we had the scene where he literally makes a fist and he's going to hit me, and I had that whole thing about the, you know, the Rocky Four, how big his fist was. You know, it was very odd to
Yeah.
be, you know, but that's like that was truly, you know, that was something that that plays all the way back in your brain for a long time. That was my second movie in the theater that I had seen, is Rocky
Uh, uh,
4. So, you know, it holds a pretty special place too.
mm. Yeah, I mean, there's something about that first film that you go to see, you know. That's cool. Yeah, no, that's cool, right? So, okay, so Rocky 3 kind of got the fire lit.
It
And then, yeah, so then what was your kind of journey? How did you, you know, go from an idea to a reality?
Yeah. Well, you know, it's like again, Sylvester Stallone inspired me so much. I think I was in, I don't know, junior high when I saw this thing, and so it was one of the, I had just moved to a new city, so it was like that. You know, I don't want to say I was getting bullied, but you know, it was a tough time for me,
Yeah.
because I was short. I just wasn't fitting into. I just changed states and schools, and you know, all of a sudden, I was thrown into this place, and it was a hard thing. And that was like that outlet of, sparked my creativity for one thing, but also sparked the physicality of it too. I
Mm,
loved what, you know, inspirationally what he represented about training and overcoming, and you know, getting knocked down but getting back up and all of that stuff. But again, like I fall back on this. What I loved most about Stallone was that he was a writer, director, you know, star. Like
yeah.
he had his hands in on the whole thing when Hollywood wouldn't, you know, basically give him a shot. And so, and I feel like we've done that a lot in our, you know, uh, it's the motivation that gets me going to work with friends again,
Mm,
or to try these different genres. You know, I mean, I've been doing action stuff within the faith world for quite a while. I did a Chuck Norris movie along the way, and I did a few other things, but this is my full foray into just this straight up action thriller, which I'm excited about.
okay. Right, right. Oh man, interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I made a lot of movies over the years, you know, with our company. We built a company called Pure Flix, and and really paved the way for faith-based films, for faith and family films, and
Mm, mm,
almost create a whole genre for that. But on the side, I've always had this love for this, you know, just doing straight up action thriller stuff, and that's what A Line of Fire is for me. Is that it's that first one out of the gate that I'm so thankful that Sony picked it up and really appreciated it as well. And I think we have a really sweet, uh, fun action romp that has a lot of heart in it.
Mm. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think, the big thing is, right, there are so many actors, right? There's so many actors that want to be like the leading man. They want to play, those ripe roles. Like they want to be James Bond. They want to be John Wick. They want to be, what I mean,
Yeah.
even vying for these things. And so, a studio's got a certain look or a thought, an idea. So it's hard to break through when you've already got established stars who
Yeah.
they know they can, bank on and get bums on seats and, people to look at what they do. So
Yeah.
I think the big thing, right? Create a proof of content, right? A proof of concept, as it were. So if you make your own thing, you show what you can do, right? And it also shows your tenacity. And I think once you've done that, right, it's like, okay, right. You know, he was willing to, bank on himself. So yeah, let's, his film did well. Let's take a stab at him, right? I think that's another way in, right? And I guess that's why Sony picked up your film, because they see everything you've been doing. They see you've established this thing, right? This name for yourself.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, that, and I think because also I love that what you just said, because that's it's sweeter. Um, the reality, though, a lot of times is for such a there's a great verse in the Bible that says, "For such a time as this," right? And it's at the moment that you do it where it
Yeah.
fits. So there's that part too. There's like two different, sides of that. What you said, and then also there's this other side that says, is there a hunger in the marketplace for this?
Mm,
And is there did you build it that it would work within the distribution formula?
yeah.
Uh, and all of those other attributes that come along with it. And so um but yeah, thank you, and I'm glad that um, Sony appreciated it, and also saw the heart in it, and I think and I'm proud of it too. I feel like it's again, we've been making movies for a long time, so it's not our first rodeo, but at the same
Mm,
time, it's a step out in faith to believe that that it's going to work. And
yeah.
that's always tricky because you're raising money, and you're independently moving at it. So, yeah.
Like, what is the difference between a line of fire and like the faith-based action films?
Well, like, okay, so uh, there wasn't really the only faith-based action movies that ever existed back when I started going down this road was the apocalyptic end times movies, right? So
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, so those kind of were actiony, thrillery, but they were in that vein of end times,
Mm,
end of the world, and I made a bunch of those. I did the whole Revelation Road franchise. We did three of them, and then we did a series for Sony, and
mm,
then we did, then I did a couple different genres in that, or a couple different uh, movies within the franchise.
yeah,
Is what I'm trying to say. Uh, but then I started venturing out and even doing more and looking at stories more. I did a movie called Beckman, and I love this movie. It's it was it was right over here. I have it there. There it is. And that movie is a little bit like John Wick,
uh,
with Billy Baldwin and Burt Young from Rocky. Uh,
okay.
I try to have them all in there, but that was like about a hitman, who happens to struggle with his faith, and trying to figure out how in the world does that work, by and then leading a church in the process when he got out, but then he goes back in, and so it's like this. There, you're doing those kind of stories. I think
Mm,
within this is about a dad. who had retired from the FBI, and then all of a sudden he's brought back in with the death of his ex-partner, and he has to make this decision. Is he gonna go back into it, and then he ends up, his kids get kidnapped, and it's like this whole thing of who did it. Is there corruption going on, and where does it lead all the way up to within the FBI? So it's kind of interesting, and twists and turns, and yeah, I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. Like, why was this the right time for this film?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I in sometimes, not always, but a lot of times I try to we go, well, what's going on in society right now, and let's bring it to light in a kind of fantastic way,
Yeah.
in an entertainment way, that also feels a little bit home to people, that they go, this feels kind of like I know about this, but I don't really know about it. So that's kind of interesting to me too. Um, and also just, from the general, from, the simplest point of view, is that action is the number one genre in the world. So you might as
Mm.
well had hey, I love to do it, so I should just push in on that. That's the simple answer.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, man. There's something about an action film, right? It just kind of, yeah, it gets the adrenaline pumping, right? You're
Yeah.
just you're kind of moving with the blows, you know what I mean? You'll be like, oh, in that situation, yeah, I'd do that too. Oh, I'd have grabbed the gun. I would have, like, you just think all of these different crazy things.
Well, the interesting thing about it too is, when you think about it, it's like uh, comedy is very subjective, right?
Mm.
So you obviously, people love comedies. A lot of people love to laugh, but people have a whole different version of what their sense of humor is.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, you like you can't go to every country in the world and get the same sense of humor. Some people find it, not funny. Like, that's just not funny to them. But action, I think, is easier for, no matter what country of the world you live in. It's about the underdog, fighting back against the tyranny or for justice. And I
Mm.
think that's an easy thing to wrap, whether you're in Japan, whether you're in wherever it is, Russia,
Yeah.
Guam, just Mexico, like US. It's just that it's all the same. From, like, you're able to turn the volume off and understand what's going on.
Yes. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Because yeah, it's funny because, like, when you think about, like, music and you have all of these different genres and things like that, but comedy, it's just comedy, right? But you've got, like, satirical, you've got dark comedy,
Yeah.
raunchy comedy. There's so many different, like, versions of. But just putting comedy, like, it, you're never really sure, like, oh, is
Yeah.
it going to be my kind of thing? Or so you just have to sometimes go with, well, I've liked stuff from that director, or oh, that actor's always funny and stuff. That's the only way you can gauge it
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think it's just, that's easier. That's the bigger sell, is the casting of it.
Mm, yeah, because you can't just go by the story, because so many stories can be hilarious if done in a certain way. And something that sounds like it could be funny could be terrible in your eyes,
Yeah.
done by, a certain person in a certain way. So it's like, it's hard to gauge it from that.
Yeah. I also feel like, though, no matter what genre it is, and it's specifically in action too, is it's hard. I can't watch every action movie. I try to watch
Mm,
a lot of them, but just some of them aren't done well. And I
yeah.
think, and I feel like you still have to have the keys to what a good movie is obviously a great script, but it's like the heart. Like
Mm,
for me, I need heart. If I don't care about the lead, or I don't care about, what's going on, then it's hard for me to connect to it. And I think
yeah.
ultimately it's hard for any audience to connect to it. But the action genre has really kind of, I don't know. I feel like they've there's a lot of bad action movies out there where they're artistically they're just not good, right?
Yeah.
The action sequences are like, oh my gosh, this is horrible. It's like they didn't have a good editor, they didn't shoot it well, they didn't have good action, whatever actors, or the stunt guys or whatever, and then also a lot of them, the stories are like, oof, I don't care about the story. It's
Yeah.
just like there's no heart. There's no, so that's what I do think. Whereas A Line of Fire has the heart. The action sequences are really good, and the cast is stellar. I mean, all these guys they're pretty dang good. They've been doing it a long time,
Yeah.
and
You
they're
have
different too.
you do have an impressive cast. Like, how easy was it to get everyone involved? And also, were these your first, like, was everyone your first choice? Like, did you get all your first choices, should we say?
Yeah, I mean, I love it. I mean, like Jason Patrick, I think is just, it's he's been out of it a little bit, because of uh some stuff that he's been going through. Like he just took
Mm,
a break for a while, but it doesn't discount the fact that it's the Narc guy. I love
yeah.
that movie, Narc. I loved, like, Rush was amazing. He was,
Mm,
I'm not going to say he's um, what Speed 2. I'm not going to say that was a brilliant piece of
uh,
work. He was good at it. He's always good at it. And then, of course, Cuba Gooding Jr. is an Academy Award winner.
oh,
Super fun to watch.
yeah.
And Scott Baio has never been an assassin in a movie, which is crazy because he was really good in it. So,
Mm,
and then Katrina Bowden is like on the 30 Rock for years, beautiful, and she was a great love interest. And there's so many people. G Rod, the guy on the thing here, is like, he's in everything as the bad guy these days. Like, he's great. So yeah, I was just great, just grateful to, so many great people. And Matt Shapira was a director who I've worked with for a lot of times, and we're buddies, and he did a great job too.
yeah. No, I feel the film does key into those essential action movie, you know, like the essence of, as it were.
Good. Yeah, I mean, that's what I set out to do. And yeah, I'm very pleased. And then I gotta mention, the two girls that played my daughters in the movie are really good, because they are actually my daughters.
I did wonder because I saw the surname and it's just like, is it? Because sometimes you think, oh, that must be, and then you'd be like, oh, it's not. Okay, it's just a coincidence. But
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, they've been acting in our movies since they were babies, a long time. So they've been really good. I've never had them both, and I've never been able to have them both as my daughters in a movie though. But I've had the one, and sometimes in the other one, and
mm,
it's fortunate they're different. Now one's 12 and one's 15. So I got an age range I can pick
yeah.
from. I need a 12-year-old.
So, do you actually make them pancakes?
Not very often. They don't like my cooking.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Oh man. Like when like you saw the role for this because it was written by Matt and Chris Covell, right?
Yeah, Matt, Chris, but concept wise, it was really mine and Matt's concept.
Okay.
Story wise, I'm involved really heavily from the inception of it. And then I hire Matt to write it, basically, and then Matt, puts out a draft, and then we bring in Then I work with Matt for a little while. Then we bring in Chris to write on it for a while, a bit, and then
Yeah.
so it's kind of obviously it's all of our efforts involved, but because they're writers, I'm not, I don't, they can have the credit for that.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah. Yeah.
they really did the heavy lifting with it.
Okay. But no, because it is sometimes like you wonder where ideas come from, right? Where the concept comes from, like how involved some people are in, because you hear people, like I remember when the first season of Wednesday came out, and I think Jenna Ortega was doing interviews, and she said she wrote lines for her character, and then other people are up in arms because they're like, no, I wrote that. And it's just like, so you wonder like what actually is, who actually is involved with all of this.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing was, where and I kind of, I don't know. I mean, I'd love to be cooler than this and say, oh, I had some brilliant idea to do, I thought of this whole thing. But in reality, what happens is like I'm watching Night Agent, and what I don't know if you've seen it on Netflix, but what I like about it was, and if you notice it in the movie, is I love the kickoff. I couldn't get it out of my brain. I love the kickoff of this girl calling this guy who's in this office, and he's unaware, and now all of a sudden he's thrust into this world to go save her. Is he going to save her, or is he going to let her die? And so I did use that. I was like, when I was first started with Matt, I was like, Matt, I love this. Let's jump off of this. Let's figure out how can we bring it into our own story as the kickoff. And so in this movie, I have a burner phone that is retired. When I retire from the FBI, I retire this, right? Because I'm going off to be a dad, and it's stuck away, it's packed away. Yet, this is the movie industry. So unbeknownst, somehow the battery is still alive to when my partner gets killed, that my ex-partner gets killed. Her niece is there too on the yacht, and all she says, my FBI partner says, my agent partner says, call cash, and that's it. And then she's dead. Sorry, not to blow it, but you can see it in the trailer.
I mean, and it's at the very start of the film, so it's like,
exactly. But that's the kickoff for what I like, is that all of a sudden I'm, I love this idea too. I'm just an everyday guy. I mean, obviously with special skills, you got to have special skills. But because otherwise, what are we? In the fugitive, but even he had special skills. But that's when he gets the call that says, are you coming in or are you coming out? You going to do this, or are you going to let me die? And I like that. And that was the kickoff of this whole movie for us to start the whole process to what is a line of fire.
But I think that's fair though, right? Because everyone's influenced by something, right? But it's your version of that.
Yeah, and it's a whole different version of it, but it's still the same. Like it's the interesting thing. How many we've watched so many movies over the years, right? Or seen, and the inception of a new movie really is all the borrowed stuff that somebody's put into their brain and sorted out and came out with this.
Oh, for sure. I mean, when you look at something like Harry Potter, right? There is
so much like Night Agent.
Yeah. I mean, like there's oh gosh, what's it?
It's not like
Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe, right? There's elements of that in Harry Potter. There's elements of Merlin. There's elements of there's so many you can see the inspirations. In that thing, and like in so many other things, like so many times I've read authors be like, oh, when I started the series, the editor said it was too much like Lord of the Rings, so then we had a thought and we changed this and we did, you know what I mean? It's just so many people get influenced by their favorite thing, you know?
Yeah.
And you then go, oh, how can I do my version of that? Right? Or what if that was set in this time? Or, what if it was cats instead of people, right? You know what I mean? Like everyone's got an idea and they do a thing. And so it makes it different because it's coming from that person rather than like Tolkien or, C.S. Lewis or whoever.
Yes, you said it a lot better than I did. This was way deeper than mine. Rocky 3, Night Agent, A Line of Fire. You're like Tolkien, like you're using all these like C.S. Lewis, like
Oh
why
man.
you're doing this interview and not me. You're the host.
Oh boy. But you made the film, man. Like you made the film. You did like how easy is it doing all of that action? Right? Like
The
there's
actual action or the actual making of a movie?
like the action scenes, let's
Yeah.
say.
You know, I just feel like everybody's skilled in different ways, you know. And so ironically, it's not that hard for me to do it. I've been, I've been a fan of it since I was a kid. And then, I did martial arts in my 20s, and then did, and have done the different things in all of it. I've been boxing as of late, and that's why we brought it into the movie.
Right.
And I feel like it's like, it's funny because I work with some of the top stunt guys in this movie too. Like these guys out of Miami did all the Bad Boys, and they're great. Top, just Juan Bofil, so top tier. Even G Rod he's coordinating it. He was top tier. They've done so many movies, and so I feel like we got some really good stuff, and for that I'm proud of it. And it's easy. Fortunately, I'm able to learn it pretty fast.
Okay.
I don't get a lot of time with it,
Yeah, I think that's a big thing, right? You have these action films and just so many other films, and all of these incredible stunt people are doing all of these incredible things. So I'm really glad. Is it next year or 2027 when they're actually going to finally get a frigging Oscar? Because it's just insane that they've not
Wow,
been
that's so
recognized.
cool that they're doing that. Yeah, I did not know that, but I mean, it's about time. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, I wonder. They have the stunt awards every year, and we have another guy, Monty Perlin, that worked with me for many, many years. He's in this movie too,
Mm.
pilot in the movie, and he coordinated that action sequence. But the interesting thing was, he was nominated one year, for
Okay.
that Adam Sandler movie where I don't know, whatever. Anyway, point is though is that bedtime stories. He did
Oh.
he drives Monty holds the world record for the longest Harley wheelie, a 1,200-pound bike wheelie, and it's over a mile, right? And so in that movie, Bedtime Stories, Monty jumps, which is again the guy in the movie. He plays the pilot. He jumps through a moving train at going 25 to 30 miles an hour with the girl on the back, which is even harder because if he gets killed, the girl gets killed too. And so he was nominated for that year. I don't know whether or not he won it. Hopefully he did.
Ooh.
But I love the idea that they are going to bring that to the Oscars. That's awesome.
Yeah, because yes, there's the stunt awards. It doesn't really get any traction.
No, there's no publicity on it. There's
No.
hardly nobody watches that. I haven't even seen one.
Yeah.
Which is
And it's weird because there's two nights of the Oscars, right? And the first night they hand out like more of the technical awards
that nobody cares about. No offense. But I mean, like, nobody watches that. Like, they're
No.
not invited to the other one where people are viewing. But the
Mm.
stunt award, like, you think about the stunt awards, like, who doesn't want to see that's a stunt? I'd like to just even Monty's stunt of doing that. I would love to I would have been like, I would love to see the top 5 stunt guys in
Oh
what
my god.
he did.
Yeah, that
How
would
cool
get
is that?
so great rate because, you always hear about the Globes and the Oscars, the ratings are going down year after year. But if you're looking at stunts, even films that you might not like, there's usually a really cool sequence and you get to
Yeah.
see that. And so, yeah,
At
that
least we
would
don't have to
just
have, like,
be
Tom Cruise winning the award every year because he hung off a plane or he jumped a motorcycle.
oh man, yeah, I
People,
know.
it's funny because people are always like, "Did you do your own stunts?" I do all my own fight choreography, right?
Okay,
Primarily.
yeah.
But the thing is like the stunt guys are there to do the stunts. Like
Yes.
like falling down the stairs, I'm not doing that. Jumping from building to building, I'm not doing that. Apparently Tom Cruise is. Or you know, or jumping off a bill, like those are things those guys are so trained and so specialized in
Mm,
that why do we as an actors feel the need to say that we do our own stunts?
yeah,
Because we don't.
yeah. I mean, well, that was the crazy thing. Like when you look at it, like the 80s, early 90s, people would say they did all their own stunts. And
Yeah.
it wasn't until, I think just the internet let you kind of get more of an understanding of, oh, that person, oh, there's these group of people that do actually do the stunts. You know what I mean? It's just, yeah, as an
Also,
actor,
if you're
you're
like
doing,
there with the stunt guys, right? Because I've met a lot of guys, and these like even on this last thing that we just did, and these guys have done, they've worked with the biggest movie stars, and they're a lot of times doubling big movie
yeah.
stars, and we're only getting them because of relationships, and we're blessed to have them come with us. But I'm like looking at them going, even after I'd go do something, and my stunt guy will do it, and I'll watch him, and then I'll do it, right? But he's way faster, way more technical, just way better.
Yeah.
And for me to ever come off the there and go, oh, I do it all is insanity. It's just like, how do you even look in the mirror at yourself believing? I know you're an actor, right? So you're meant to like pretend, but like, I don't know. It just doesn't seem right.
No, no. You
Let's
know,
change it, Kevin.
yeah, let them have their shine, man, because they're crazy skilled,
Yeah, they
you
are.
know?
And they sacrifice a lot for it too.
Oh my gosh.
They
Yeah.
break a lot of bones and those things.
Oof. Yeah, I spoke to a stunt guy. Oh man, wish I could remember his name, but he did a film called American Badger, which was really good. It's a really good film. And he was just telling me about like a lot of the work and everything like that. And the fact, I think on one of the film, no, I think it was Smallville, it, one of his friends died doing a stunt.
Yeah.
And literally, they had to then do that stunt again a few hours later. Right?
Which
They don't get a day off, a week off. It's
yeah,
just like you got to keep it moving.
yeah. That's one of the tough things about our industry is that as glamorous as it is, it's also grueling
Mm,
times.
yeah.
It packs so much in and there's always so much money on the line too. So you're
Yes.
so it's not like there's no stress either on every level. And
Mm. Well, yeah, that's why you can't really pause and break for a week
yeah,
because it's just like, well, if you do, then this actor's got another film to go to, and we've only booked this space for this amount of time, and you know what I mean? Or like we're doing it to fit this season of weather, and next week it's thunderstorm. So it's just like there's so much that you have to, I guess, think about, which
yeah.
is crazy. Yeah. What for you was the hardest part of this film? And like, was it what you kind of when you were thinking, was it the thing that you envisioned that might be the hardest part?
From a producerial standpoint, I would say producing it is harder in the way that, because there's the whole money, you're raising money
Yeah.
from people, or, sometimes companies. And that's like a long process. There's so many processes. It's hard to get the script right, and on the other side of it. Then it's the money. And then it's like, then you're in production and you have all these people
Mm.
you're trying to coordinate. It's like, there's a joke. It's like herding cats on set, because they're all going in different directions. And how do you bring everybody's vision to the same,
Yeah.
point? So I think to me, those are way harder than the performing, the acting side. I mean, I've been doing the acting stuff since I was 19. So when I've come from a little town outside of Dodge City, Kansas, and I rolled into California when I was 19, straight, pretty much. I went to college for 1 year in Chicago, but then came out here, and 6 months later, I was on Evening Shade with Burt Reynolds.
Oh,
And that was as a kid for 3.5 years, and so I got my training really, really fast,
Mm.
and I learned so much, from so many amazing actors. But so the acting stuff, I'm not saying acting is easy, but I've been doing it the longest, so it's easier than the extra
Yeah.
production stuff.
And I think, like with everything, right? There's certain things that people have an affinity for, right? And other people can sometimes do it, but it takes a lot more effort, right? So I think it probably is easy for you because what I mean? And also, I think not going to school to learn it, right? But learning it on the set, I think there's something to that, right? Because you're immersing yourself. It's like when you're learning a foreign language, right? They say it's better to go to the country and immerse yourself in it than just sit in a classroom and go through a book, right? And you've immersed yourself in the what I mean, just the lion's den, and you were with Burt friggin' Reynolds. You know what I mean? You're with great actors, man.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah. No, thank you. I mean, I actually, I did take a ton of training though, and then I ended up doing theater like from my 20s all the way through, for 15 years. I did a ton of theater too. So I took my craft very, very serious. For me, it wasn't enough to just be on set. Like in between the times, when you're not on set, you got to figure out, okay, it's like an art form. It's how
Yeah.
can I train that? And I think that's the other thing that makes even like Line of Fire is you can control you, right? You know how to when you're doing the acting stuff, when you finally get to do that aspect of it, that's easier because I can do that. I'm not trying to control all these other people
Yeah.
in elements.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that are that have a brain of their own, so they go different ways. Like I said, it was like herding cats.
All right. Well, the film's out now, right? It's
Yeah,
just literally dropped. Like,
yeah.
what's that
It's on,
reception?
Apple, Amazon, Fandango. You could take a flight on American Airlines or Emirates. You could
Oh,
see.
you've got it on the airline too.
Yeah. It's like it's
Oh,
out
man.
there. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, I'm grateful to Sony for, for believing in it, and it's and I'm proud of it, and I think, we're getting a ton of great response. Sorry for that, sun keeps popping in there.
Oh, it's cool, man. It's cool.
Sorry
But
about that.
so the response has been good.
Yeah, been getting a lot of great reviews.
Oh,
So
fantastic.
yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah,
great.
very, very, very pleased. There it
Cool.
is. I blocked it. Got my big head in here.
So could we see more cash down the line or?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, ultimately, it's really an audience's thing. If they love it and want more of it, then they hopefully will tell us. Uh, and yeah, I'd like to see more cash.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
cool.
Yeah, I kind of feel, you know, there's room for more. There's room for more. No one, there's no definite hard, closures or anything. So, yeah,
Yeah,
it could
yeah.
be.
It's a fun romp, that's for sure.
Mm, awesome. Awesome. So, if people do want more, how can they find you, David?
Well, a couple things. I have a podcast as well called the White House Pod Dare to Dream. It's not about politics. It's about my name's White. So that's where it comes from, the White House, my White House. And Dare to Dream. It's all about people's stories and what their dreams are. And so I'd love the people to check out that. And then also just check me out on at David A.R. White on every platform.
Awesome. And can they find the podcast on, Apple,
Apple,
Spotify, just all your favorite?
iTunes, YouTube, all those. Yep, everywhere a podcast is. The White House Pod, Dare to Dream.
Tremendous. How long you been doing that?
About a year and a half.
Okay.
Good,
Every
good
week or
week. Yeah,
month?
week we have a drops with the different. Mostly stars are on it. A lot of stars, and then like top business people who
Mm.
did something extraordinary, and where do they get that? The whole idea is like, where do the dreams come from?
Oh man, that sounds really interesting.
Well, I hope you tune in.
I'm definitely gonna go check that
There's
out,
some fun
man.
art. There's some fun guests on it. Again, sorry. Whew.
Awesome. Okay, so you got the podcast, you're on, all the socials, and then the film is on all your favorite VODs.
Yep. Streaming platforms. Yeah.
Outstanding. Well, people, you've heard. So as soon as you finish this, go check everything out. Go subscribe. Go follow David and hear some of these incredible stories. That sounds, yeah, crazy interesting.
Thanks.
Okay. Do you know where people might see you next? That's the big one everyone wants to know,
Hmm.
David.
You know what? We'll see. We'll see. I mean, we just finished another one, so we'll see when it comes out. 2026. That'll come out in 2026. So,
Okay.
but in the meantime, just watch the podcast every week. And please tune in to A Line of Fire. I've not practiced this. There it is. Oh, Kevin, thank you so much for having me. I gotta jump here. I got kids I gotta go pick up.
Yeah, mate. All right, you do your thing. And when you're ready to talk about the new joint, please stop by and we'll have another conversation. Okay.
I would love to. Thanks again for having me.
Hey, no worries, man. All the best. Good
All right.
luck with everything else.
Thanks, man. You too. See you, Kevin.
Take it easy.
Bye bye.
Bye.